Messi and Co. Breaking Major League en la ciudad del sol. Here in Miami, we know who's el campeón. Leo my team, yeah. Suárez on the field, Alex wedding dating. Como que ya es un win. The trio of Fabi singing, muchachos. Las familias se escuchan los barrios. Esta camiseta pinky la llevan todos los guachos. Los rookies quedan sin comentarios. Messi ambetea, tiki-taki gol. El estadio Chase bañado en gloria y sudor. Aquí se ama y se respeta el balón. Florida es tu casa, acostúmbrate al calor. Estate listo pa' Messi and Co. Estate listo pa' Messi and Co.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Messi and Co. Champions Cup Quarterfinals Preview Edition. I'm Ashley here as always with my co-hosts Gian and Matt. Happy Wednesday. How we feeling?
Happy midweek, everybody.
Midweek.
I'm still very I'm trying to mentally prepare myself for tonight still.
No, I know.
Is anybody ready to stay up until 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. or whatever it is?
Yeah, I'm actually probably after we resume this episode, I think I'm taking a nap just so I can be ready for the game. I'm already tired just thinking about it, and I woke up early today. I probably should have slept in, honestly.
You have to have your mate prepared for tonight. You gotta.
That's true. I actually haven't had a chance yet to get my mate together, so I'm still researching how the hell to even do it. But in the meantime, I'll do a green tea or something, or matcha tea or something. I don't think it's the same thing, but
never settle, guys. Never settle.
No.
Never settle.
Never. Hey, Tuesday. What's today? Tuesday or Wednesday?
Wednesday.
I just checked it. Wednesday. Wednesday is the new Monday. No, how's it going? I don't even know.
For what?
I don't know.
You definitely need that nap. You definitely need that nap.
You need that nap. Oh, I'm jealous. Yeah, it's gonna be a really, really late night. But it's exciting because, as it says in the banner below, Champions Cup Quarterfinals preview. Obviously, we've been talking about this for close to a month now. You know, I would say the theme of this Inter Miami season is probably like trophies, right? Is now that we feel like this team is deep and it's playing well, we have a lot of options. We're seeing great coaching, great play. How far can these teams go? Obviously, I would say the centroid of it all is going to be the Club World Cup, but today, as of now, you know, we're in the last 8 for the Champions Cup. I would say in a much better position than we were in this time last year in terms of team availability, and that starts tonight with a very, very late kickoff, 11:30 p.m. against LAFC. A lot of talking points to go through. I think what we should probably start with, and the one everyone cares the most about, naturally, who will be in our starting lineup, and is one of them the up-and-comer number 10 that we talked about over the weekend? Do we think Lionel Messi is going to start? Do we think he's going to play? What's everyone's overall thought?
I think Messi needs to play the full 90, not let alone start. He needs to play this whole game, because I mean, we spoke about it pretty much, I think, since the beginning of preseason. Like these are the games that Messi should be playing the full 90 in. Messi, at least in my opinion, or for what I believe, or for what I think, Messi, it's not necessary for him to be playing full 90s week in, week out, especially for these MLS regular season games. But it is very necessary for him to be playing these win or go home types of matches against LAFC and CONCACAF Champions Cup and Club World Cup, and etc. These are the type of matches that we need him to play in and show up in. So I think he needs to be playing this whole 90. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah. Well, I certainly think start is probably a good beginning point.
Yeah, I think the good thing is that Messi came out of that Philadelphia game looking really good. Mascherano said that he felt good as well after. Obviously, that's really important as well, because we've seen Messi play good, and then we end up finding out that he had some sort of discomfort in the adductor, the injury that's really been seems like chronic this season. So knowing that he ended the game well, and then we saw him practice, he did well in practice. We even saw a video of him scoring a golazo in practice. I think that was really good. Mascherano, as always, was never is never one to confirm that he's going to play. They asked him if he was going to be starting. He said that obviously he looks good, and that the hope is that he is going to be he is going to get some minutes, but that he wouldn't confirm, and that we'd find out basically minutes before the game started. I don't know. To me, it all points that he's going to be available and being able to. He'll probably start, and that's if I had to really bet on it. There's no reason for him not to. He looks good. It's an important, probably the most important game, I think, in Inter Miami history. If I can go in the quarterfinals of the Champions Cup, and this is a very beatable team. Like, you have the opportunity to go into the semifinals. Like, this is, if there was ever a game that had Messi's name on it, it was this one. Prime time in Los Angeles. We saw their turnout in Los Angeles last time with the stars and everything. This is a prime game. MLS wants them there. Inter Miami wants them there. CONCACAF wants him there. There's literally no reason that I can see right now why he wouldn't be on that pitch starting from the very kickoff.
I agree. I think, look, if we didn't understand it at the time, and it seemed probably hard to believe, but after that Atlanta game in the beginning of March, I think everyone in that room, when they had that conversation with Messi and he was saying he felt discomfort and what is the plan, I think they all had this match in mind, knowing that at that current state, like, the priority is that Messi is available for the Champions Cup quarterfinal. In all honesty, I really do think that, knowing where this team is, and to your point, it is a beatable team. LAFC right now, they're 8th in the West, 3 wins, 3 losses, but they're still LAFC. They just won the MLS Cup. It's going to be a very difficult atmosphere. It's going to be an exciting atmosphere. Like you said, prime time. It's going to be difficult because it's a West Coast game. It's midweek. High intensity, all of those things. You need Messi to play and start in. And after his performance, even in just 35 minutes in Saturday's win, you expect him to be starting and playing. I mean, by the way, he made MLS Team of the Week, and like we said, I mean, he was like, he was so good. Watching that game, I remember leaving and I was like, God, he's still so good. He's still so much better than everyone. I just don't understand. But yeah, looks like he's been able to, heal slowly, get his way back. Looked fantastic, and the trophies are the theme this year, and this is one that, like you said, it's a very achievable semifinal that we can get to, and part of that plan is that Messi is starting for it for sure.
Yeah, agreed. Look, I think that this, just going back to that last statement about it's a very winnable game. LAFC is not the LAFC of last season. I still think they're an elite team and they're a very formidable opponent. But you're talking about a team that ended up first place in the Western Conference standings last season, although they weren't MLS Cup champs. And this season, they're currently in 8th place right now. They're coming off a San Diego loss, 3-2. But within that San Diego loss, I think that there were some important things to note for LAFC that are like, okay, yeah, they're not necessarily in the best moment, but they're a team that, going back to this last game, they went down early on in the first half, 3-0. And then come second half, they're able to score 2 goals and almost came back from a 3-down lead. And being a man down since minute 53, they almost turned the game around on San Diego. And that's the type of game that I probably expect against Inter Miami, where they still have elite players. They have Buonga that's on the team that's really good, not scoring goals as much as last season, but he's still a very formidable player, a player that can get a lot of passes, very creative, the type of player that can give Inter Miami a lot of trouble on the defensive end. Mm-hmm. There's still a lot of questions out there from LAFC. Is Giroud going to be back and available? Is Ebovis, their center forward, going to be available? If they are, what is that front?
I almost forgot they had Olivier Giroud, right?
Yeah.
Does Buonga then move from the 9 to play back on the left wing once these two come back? They also have Ordaz that all of a sudden is playing really good. He can be a starter, or is he going to be a super sub off of the bench?
Hugo Lloris.
Yeah, they have a lot of really good talented players. So I think, like, you look at that table, but then you look at the players that they have, and it's like, okay, you can't base everything off of results. This is a team that can give Inter Miami trouble. So I think that it's important that these guys go in there and say, this is going to be a really tough game. Mascherano is going to have to try to figure things out without knowing exactly who's going to be on the starting 9 on there. And then I don't know. Inter Miami's going to have to try to figure out how they want to play this game. Are they going to want to be a bit defensive? Are they going to go out 100% on offense? I know that LAFC this season has been trying to have a more balanced approach. They're a team that's not necessarily going to play 100% back on defense, but they are going to, I think, against Inter Miami, play more of a counter attack, but still very balanced, where they're not sitting on a low block. So it'll be interesting. I think there's a lot of interesting talking points there, like what type of game are we going to see? But I think it'll be tough.
Really quick before you go, Matt, I just want to add
Yeah.
a correction. I'm sorry.
No.
LA Galaxy won last year, not LAFC. I knew that. Sorry. That's what but they still,
I didn't even
LAFC
realize
were
it.
still very good. But sorry.
No,
yeah,
LAFC were first in
Right.
in
In the West.
in the West
Yeah.
in the standings,
Right.
and then the Galaxy ended up winning. So
Right.
LAFC's again just a really good team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's still being one of the best in the league, or they were one of the best in the league. Obviously, they're having this rough patch of form, but they still have, like you said, from a lot of good players. And speaking of like the style of play that they've been taking into these games, it's going to be very interesting. I saw the San Diego game versus when they played at LAFC, and they honestly played really, really bad. They had a really bad first half, LA, and the fact that Under, and it was their left back that I can't pronounce his name. It's like Smolarov or something, or Smolinkov. They both had really nice goals, absolute great goals. And then, but even from then on, they went a man down. They were still trying to be competitive, but at the end of the day, it still wasn't the best game. They're gonna, like you said, they're gonna try to play maybe that counterattacking football. And Mascherano, in the way that he might approach this game, it could be playing a little bit more defensive. Maybe he'll still try to be the protagonist and go out all out attack, but he'll have to keep in mind that he might be vulnerable with those counters with the players like Boanga and Under on the wing, and maybe Morales or whoever is going to play up there. And if Giroud is going to be back, that's even going to be more dangerous. They're going to be pretty dangerous going forward. So it's going to be interesting to see what the approach that they take, and the approach that Mascherano takes in counteracting what they got to bring.
Yeah, because Inter Miami plays really with a lot of power up front, and puts up a lot of numbers up front. You're talking about Messi's going to be up front, Suarez is going to be up front. Who else? Well, Allende I don't think is playing, but probably Kremaski is probably going to start. Most likely he'll be up front. Like, it's in the split second, it could get really ugly if he's
Fafa.
not. If Fafa could be up front, Telasco is going to be up there. So Inter Miami has committed a lot to, and then Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba is basically a winger. Inter Miami is almost always on offense playing with three center backs. That's kind of how they end up playing. So I think Mascherano is going to have a very strategic and tactical chess-like game, where he's going to have to figure out how he wants to tinker this team to play against a really good LAFC team. One thing I will say, and this is something that the coach from LAFC is very cognizant of, is that Inter Miami is one of those teams that doesn't forgive you when you make mistakes. So if LAFC wants a chance against Inter Miami, they're going to need to be picture perfect. They had the two goals that San Diego FC scored were, I think, two set pieces that were, I think, not very well defended, and they were really poor plays. Those are the type of plays Inter Miami will, like, even with like Suarez and the pressure up front. Like, the moment they take the ball away from you, if you mess up, they're gonna make you pay. They've got very guys that'll finish very easily. So that's something that LAFC's got to take care of as well if they want a chance against Inter Miami.
Hugo Lloris had a really bad game against San Diego. He was responsible for one of the goals, either one or two of the goals that they scored. And if Lloris can have that game against Inter Miami, I think we're gonna be good.
Yeah, I will. I mean, there's a lot to think about with this game. 100%. I mean, it's going to be a chess match, and from an Inter Miami standpoint, I think the question is, this is a game that I think is going to really show just like how far can this Inter Miami team go, because we've remained undefeated so far this season, right? And we've had to play in a lot of different circumstances. We've played in a lot of different competitions already, different injury, different players, red cards, X, Y, and Z. This is going to be a big test, because this is, like you said, you're now the final 8 in this multiple countrywide tournament. knowing that you're getting closer and closer to some very difficult Liga MX teams. And last year got a little, I would say maybe a little embarrassed against Monterrey, a little bit, didn't see the best version of Inter Miami. But now you got to prove that, you are the team in the MLS. You're the best team and you have the best roster. In terms of who we think is going to be playing, I think it's, there was a lot of rotation on Saturday. I think even more rotation than we think about. But who's your best four in defense? Is it going to be Aviles, or is it going to be Noah Allen? Is it going to be Lujan? Like, who's going to be playing next to Falcon? Because I think we agree it's going to be Ian Frey, and it's going to be Jordi Alba. In goal, apparently Ustari is okay and he's back, but do you risk it or do you play Drake Callender? The big questions in the midfield. Yannick Wright feels like he's the obvious choice, but he didn't start last game. What's the plan? So I think there's a lot of question marks, I think, in terms of what is this lineup going to look like. And I'm curious, what do you guys think?
Well, there was a lot of rotation, I'm assuming, because he wanted to just rest those guys for this specific game, because we did see Yannick Bright come off the bench. We did see Telasco Segovia come off the bench. We saw even like Noah Allen come off the bench. So it was just to get everybody minutes, since they had, such a long time off and had that nice break. But we're going to need somebody like Yannick Bright in that midfield for that extra defensive support. We're going to need somebody like Messi Falcon. Ustadi is kind of the big question mark, in my opinion, because he obviously came off injured with that calf injury. He's cramping a lot, but now it's like, this is a big game. Are we benching our number one goalkeeper for somebody who hasn't played any minutes, AKA Drake Callender? He played his first couple of minutes last time against Philly. Are we going to play somebody like
Rocco? In a difficult
Rocco?
environment. It's
in a very difficult environment. Yeah. And so imagine that. And so I'm not saying that Drake can't handle it, but like he just doesn't have that match sharpness. So it's a very tricky situation to be in for Inter Miami. And I think for the rest of the team, I think in my opinion, Suarez and Messi are going to be up top. I think Fafa should be. I thought Fafa had a great game last time out. He should be getting the start. I think Velasco is going to be playing as well. This is going to be the strongest starting 11 that we have seen. And then obviously, like I said, the goalkeeper is going to be up in the air.
So, but then that's I think really like the question is, who are those front six going to be? Because are we saying, is it, I agree that Fafa deserves to start, but is it going to be, Segovia who goes on the left, and then you're going to have Messi on the right, and then, and Suarez in the middle? Or are you going to play Fafa and then have, take out Kremaski? Because I don't think you can have Fafa, Segovia, and Kremaski all start. I don't think we expect Robert Taylor to start. Also, apologies for Gian. He's having a little technical difficulties, so we're just going to continue us too. Kremaski probably not going to start. Robert Taylor probably not going to start. But, you can only have two of the three. It's either going to be, are you going to do Segovia, Fafa, or Kremaski? Like, which of those two are going to get the nod? And then Yannick Bright, because Yannick Bright, it's either Yannick Bright or Redondo, and I really think it needs to be Yannick Bright. So I don't know.
It has to be. No, it has to be. And you're totally right. In my opinion, it has to be Fafa and Telasco also. I think Robert Taylor had a fantastic game, in my opinion, against Philadelphia. But unfortunately, I just think Telasco is just better. I think Telasco is better. He's proved to us time in and time out that he has been just a phenomenal player in that area. Same with Fafa. I think his speed, his technique, his just ability to run everywhere, as we've like really, really highlighted in the last video. It's very crucial to this team. And with the midfield with Bright and Boosie, that is just, it's like the best. It's the best two midfielders that you can have in this league right now. With Bright, we've seen in the past Bright's connection with Boosie and Jordi Alba and how they interlink with each other like they've been playing for years. That's something that we need to see again against LA, and that is our best chance of getting a positive result in a very, very difficult environment in LA. And that's just in my opinion. I don't think Benja is going to get the start. I don't think Robert Taylor is going to get the start. Fafa, Telasco, Boosie, Bright, Messi, Suarez. That's our front.
Yeah, Ustadi apparently is already recovered and ready to play. So that's going to be interesting because even Macherano was not able to confirm for us who it was going to be. Which I like for me, it's been Ustadi over Drake for some time. So we'll see what that looks like. It's really going to be a game time decision, I think, for Macherano. Just whoever, even though Ustadi's supposedly healthy again, it's just whoever looked good last night's practice. I think it took place around 8 something p.m. at BMO Stadium. So whoever looked better in practice is going to start today. Falcon is always the guy that's going to be the staple in the defense. There's no discussion there. It's always going to be between Allen and Aviles. Those are the next two up. I think Aviles probably brings a little more, but there's a little bit more risk when it comes to the disciplinary part, which I think that I think he's gotten a better grasp on, and I just hope he's able to continue that, especially in these bigger games where they're a lot more emotional, right? And I think refereed a lot more stricter, and a lot. There's a lot more to pay attention to. So hopefully, if it's Aviles, I think it should be. I think I just praying that he's able to keep his composure and he's learned from past moments. Obviously, Alba on the left, and we've got Ian Frey. Ian Frey is just amazing. But just as of late, Macherano really hasn't had Ian Frey be too big a part of the offense. He's really wanted to keep that almost at 3 center back positioning so that Alba can be another winger on the left. So with those three as our 3 center backs when we're playing on offense, I feel really good. Going back to what we said at the beginning, this team, although on paper, as far as the standings are concerned, they're in 8th place. You look at the possible front three, the creator that they have, they can be a bit of a problem on offense, where you're going to want a guy next to Boosie that you feel very confident from a defensive standpoint. And obviously, I think we all agree on that from this conversation, that it should be bright in that aspect. And then up front, the question is it Kremaski? Is it Fafa? I think Taylor's kind of like the third guy after those two. So I think it really depends on.
Are we sure Allende is out? Because I could have sworn I saw him in one of the pictures for the practice.
Did you? I didn't even see that he traveled.
Yeah, if you can find a picture, that may give us some more clarity. But from what I've seen, and it looks like from what Matt has seen, there's not much going on there for Tadeo, or that he's even.
I mean, is that not him? Oh, I'm blurred. Shoot.
Is that on the Inter Miami?
Yeah. If you look at the Inter Miami post, the putting in work in LA 15 hours ago, I'm fairly sure the first photo is him in the front, and then the second photo is him behind Fafa.
That's Redondo.
Oh, is it?
Tying his shoe is Redondo. That has to be Redondo.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought it was.
Yeah, because then he's in the background in the second photo with Messi.
Okay, so it's Redondo and not
Allende.
Same
cleats. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It's the same.
Okay, then I agree.
It's going to be Fafa or Kremaski on that side. I personally think Fafa brings a little bit more right now over Kremaski. Kremaski would be a great, if Fafa needs to come out, Kremaski's a great sub to come in afterwards. And then obviously Messi and Suarez. But this team, I think, without Tadeo Allende and him missing, I think that this team offensively is gonna be right there. But we're gonna need a little more from Fafa and from Suarez with no Tadeo Allende there. We're gonna need somebody to make those runs in behind the center backs that Tadeo has done so perfectly. He'll definitely be missed if he's not in that starting lineup. So the other guys are gonna have to pick up the slack. Messi's just gonna orchestrate. But this team is primed and ready to take on this LAFC side.
I'm excited for the game in 42 hours from now. I cannot wait. No, but I agree. It's an exciting one, and be tired, but I think it will be worth watching. So with that being said, I think in the comments, let us know who your predicted 11 is. We're going to post this right away. So let us know your predicted 11. We'll see if it matches up. And then, of course, your score prediction. Gian, we'll start with you. How do you see this one coming out? This could be a good one. It's going to be a good one.
I always try to base whatever the results on that other opponents have been able to score on the team we're playing. So just to see San Diego FC score 3, I think Inter Miami can at least get 2 or 3 on this. I think LAFC is going to be much better prepared than they were against San Diego, and obviously I think they had rested some players. So look, it's going to be tough. I'm going to go with 3-1 Inter Miami, 3-1.
Okay, Matt.
I was thinking the same way. I'm like, if San Diego can score 3, we can score 6. You know what I'm saying? But it's but on a realistic note, I definitely believe that we can put 3 past LA. I think their defenses can be vulnerable, and it's something that we're able to break through with the quality and the caliber of players that we have on this team. In terms of the other side of on our end, it's gonna be tricky. It's gonna depend, I guess, on who starts in goal. But I'm gonna predict that Inter Miami will walk away with the win regardless. But I'm gonna say 3-2.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, so I want to say 3, but I think because it's a quarterfinal and because I think everyone's going to be just like a little tighter, a little slower, a little bit more don't want to make a mistake as opposed to just like a regular MLS game. So I'm going to say Inter Miami win 2-1. I think we'll get it to. I think it'll be 2-0, and then I think they'll get one back, and the game will be tight. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we score 3. I hope we score a million. But yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a good matchup, and I think it's a very good litmus test to see. A lot of season left to go, a lot of competitions left to go, but we're seeing Inter Miami in great form, continuing to build and get better after every match. I think Atlanta was a very good test where a team outplayed us in the first half, but we were able to come back. We've obviously dealt with red cards. We've dealt with adversity. We've dealt with injuries. Messi seems, knock on wood, like he has gotten the rest he needed and has been able to come back at the pace that works best for him. He looked amazing on Saturday. Hopefully he's back and keeps it up. And with that said, it's going to be a great game. And hopefully Inter Miami get the lead in the first leg. And then next week, bring it home to get us into the semis. So looking forward to it.
I remember away goals matter. Away goals matter. So the more goals
right?
we score, the better.
100%. Yeah. So let us know in the comments what you think. We'll obviously be posting during the game. So make sure you're following us on X at Messi & Co. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube at 5 Reasons Football. Again, comment below. Let us know who you think is going to play and let us know what your final score is. For this episode of Messi & Co., I'm Ashley. That is Gian. That is Matt. And we will see you next time.
See you guys.
See ya.